Check this out, man. We're going a little bit off topic today. We're going on these Xbox consoles, man. What the hell is going on with these consoles? You know what I'm saying? Exactly what the title say. What the hell is going on with these consoles? But anyways, let's go ahead and get on off into it. This is an adult channel. Adult things do happen. Adult things do go on. You will hear me smoking. You will hear me talking shit. If I can get to it before I cough, I'll mute it. But other than that, let's make it crack-a-late. Now, these consoles is a motherfucker. They on some bullshit right now. Let's check this out, man.
It's been hard to be an Xbox fan the last couple months. I mean, sure, it's easy to like Xbox
You damn right it's been hard to be an Xbox fan.
games. Black Ops 6 ended up being a fun time. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was excellent. Game Pass, still a real solid value proposition no matter how you slice it. The Microsoft Games division is overall doing pretty well for itself, with gaming revenue up by 43%. Still, the vast majority of that revenue is coming from games that come out on other platforms. Or like with Black Ops 6, where it made much more on PlayStation than Xbox consoles. But hey, revenue's revenue, right? The weird thing about the current moment is that if you just like good games, it's kind of great. There's some great games coming out. But if you're watching the industry, then it kind of feels like the sky is falling, especially if you're a hardcore Xbox fan. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, we're asking what the hell is going on with Xbox? So I want to go ahead and say, we've asked this question before. Last year we made a video, I think kind of questioning whether or not the Xbox was safe, but now I think it's right to ask a little bit more serious of questions. The most alarming headline recently is that 2024 was kind of the worst year in terms of hardware sales for the entire history of Xbox. In 2024, the Series X/S have only sold 2.7 million units total the whole year. European sales even worse. There were only 290,000 units sold in all of Europe. It's an understatement to simply say yikes.
I didn't hear that.
In November, PS5s outsold the Xbox Series consoles 5-1. It's even worse if you restrict it to either S or X. But these are just numbers. They don't fully illustrate what's going on. So what is going on? Well, alright, I know this is a cliche, but it's complicated, alright? Right now, the Microsoft Gaming division, along with the entire gaming landscape, honestly, is in a period of major transition. There is a whole lot of
Yeah, I never really understood the S and X. But cause me, you know me, I'm an Xbox One. I think I got the Xbox One S. Yeah, I got the Xbox One S. And then I'm sitting here thinking I'm ahead of the game with the Xbox One S, and then they tell me the Xbox One X is more than the S because it got some other features that the S don't have. So I'm like, yeah, it should sound confusing. But yeah, I'm over here like, what the fuck?
of uncertainty in the gaming world right now. Developers and publishers that used to dominate the scene are struggling hard. Ubisoft had a terrible year in 2024. Electronic Arts, same boat. And just a few years ago, it would be laughable to suggest that EA or Ubisoft could go bankrupt or get sold off to some other company for parts, but that's where we are right now. Xbox, in comparison, has kind of always been on the knife's edge, no matter how well they've been doing. Their most successful console, the Xbox 360, had the whole Red Ring of Death situation, which they spent billions of dollars to keep the goodwill of the gaming audience, and for a little while it paid off. Not saying it didn't, but other than that brief moment in the 7th generation, Xbox has always been number 2 or number 3 in console sales. That's not winning the console war, and you might think the division was always secure because Microsoft's money and the Xbox victories and losses are just a blip on their balance sheet. But and you know, to a certain extent that's true. But all it takes is a CEO to come in and start asking whether the whole console division is even necessary, and the whole thing just goes up in smoke. That's the thing about being an Xbox fan. There's always the danger of the rug getting pulled out from under you at any moment. Nintendo fans don't have to worry about that. Nintendo is a video game company. They're not something anything else, ever. Yeah, they make some nice money from people making movies out of their IP, but that's never going to be their main business. They have to make good games for anybody to want those movies. PlayStation is safe to an extent too, because Sony is and always will be a hardware company unless something very drastic happens, and that means there's always going to be a PlayStation console because hardware is a cornerstone of their business. Microsoft is not a hardware company, they're a software company.
Now, see, I'm trying hard like hell not to switch on over to PlayStation because I've been fighting this battle with my boys for a minute. My boys are like, man, look, get off that Xbox. Go ahead and go PlayStation, man. But dog, I've been an Xbox the whole rip, and I ain't switching. But man, it's crazy though, man, because PlayStation is beating the Xbox ass right now.
It's in their name, Microsoft, as in software. Their money comes from Windows, and historically, their attempts at creating devices haven't been great. Remember the Windows Phone? Not a lot of people do. That's okay if you don't. But the only hardware Microsoft really cares about anymore is their data centers, which they can rent out to OpenAI, and they just basically get to be a digital landlord. It's passive income at a mass scale, to say the very least. They've got a stranglehold on tech with the Windows Business software compared to the massive profits they can make off software, which costs them peanuts to distribute. Hardware is a much harder problem to solve for them. I'm saying all that to get to the big point of what I think is going on with Xbox. They're changing their strategy to more closely align with Microsoft's overall goals. It's why they put so much emphasis on the Game Pass model. It's why they're pushing the new Xbox Everywhere ad campaign. And it's why they're getting more and more games out there day one on competing hardware platforms. It's why they're now showing PlayStation logos in Microsoft Directs even, and why Phil Spencer has pretty much said they're not going to bring people over to Xbox anymore with these multi-platform releases. The goal is just no longer to bring players over to Xbox consoles. They just want people buying their games regardless of platform. It's an interesting strategy for a console manufacturer, to be frank. In 2024, there's barely any reason to own an Xbox Series X console over anything else if all Xbox games are just going to be on PlayStation anyway, and you can use Game Pass on PC. There's nothing driving sales, if that's the case. In fact, it seems like they're almost intentionally driving sales away from consoles because there's really no reason to buy one anymore if this is Xbox strategy moving forward. It's not all bad. I mean, I will say they haven't completely given up on their consoles. In 2023, we got a lot of stories about games struggling to run on Series S consoles and how bad Xbox's support structure was, but it does sound like things are improving on that front as well. Recently, Kingdom Come 2 devs got a lot of help from the Series S team to optimize the game to run on the S, and it actually helped improve the game on other consoles. Because, I mean, it runs on PC and PS5 very well. That work didn't only apply to the Xbox. I mean, everything's using that same chip architecture now, if I'm not mistaken. Still, it's just one more data point to support the fact Xbox is going in a multi-platform direction, and they're not just improving games on their own hardware, they're helping them optimize on everything. As a fan, it does feel like they're giving up on the console business entirely. I mean, the pathetic sales numbers for consoles in Europe isn't strictly a supply and demand issue. It's not like nobody wants them in Europe. The problem is that if you do want them, they're actually getting harder to get. Near the end of the year 2024, Xbox's EU division admitted there was a hardware shortage, but had no information on when they would be restocked. There really hasn't been any other news either. Xbox consoles, especially the Series X, are just gone in Europe. They can still be ordered online, but if you want to get one in a store, I guess they're pretty vanishingly rare, especially in Eastern Europe of all places. The European market has always been notoriously underserved by Xbox, to be frank, but the situation has gotten worse. At all points to Xbox winding down its console division. But then again, that could actually not be the case. We don't know. Recently, an insider, keep in mind I'm putting that in scare quotes, but recently someone claiming to be an insider claimed to have information about the next generation Xbox, which according to them has hit a major development milestone. Phil Spencer has said that there will be another Xbox console, and there are rumors that they're also making a handheld. So it's not like Xbox's hardware hardware is necessarily dead. It does seem like the Microsoft Games division is changing their strategy, though. And the thing about the low console sales is that console sales are down across the board. Even PlayStation, which handily outsold Xbox in 2024, only.
Cause see, now PS5 been beating the shit up out of motherfucking Xbox for a minute. PS5 been all up in that ass. But now I'm sitting here wondering what the hell is Xbox gonna do? Because they sitting here talking about the Xbox is going digital. Everything on Xbox is going digital. There ain't gonna be no more disc or shit like that. So that's what I'm concerned on. If everything's going to go digital, which means there's going to be a whole lot of programs fucking up. That's just my opinion.
Only did so because of the PlayStation 5 Pro, a console refresh that has its own litany of problems and underperformed overall. It's not like Sony's been making a lot of great design decisions lately. It's possible that the future of Xbox, as we're projecting right now, is actually the right side of history. Perhaps the multi-platform shift is the right move. I think, though, ultimately their goal here is to make Xbox into the Windows of gaming. Nobody's a fan of Windows. In fact, we all kind of hate it. But Microsoft has a stranglehold on business software, so it doesn't matter what they think. We're all going to keep using it anyway because there isn't an alternative that, as omnipresent. I mean, there are alternatives. Linux has been getting better and better for personal use, at least, and Mac OS is better at running some of the older PC games using Windows emulators. Like, Microsoft isn't the only player in the game, but they control so much of the market they might as well be. And I would guess that's what they want Xbox to be, something that we all use because, well, what else is there? The problem here is that for a software company, Microsoft kind of sucks ass at making software, so without already controlling the market, they are going to run into problems.
Yeah, it's like I said, they have been sucking ass lately and making products. That's why I'm still questioning Xbox my damn self.
As much as they can try to make Xbox into an essential part of their PC environment, people are gonna mostly keep using Steam because it's better. Like, it's a more user-friendly launcher. It's, frankly, at the moment at least, more reliable in certain ways, particularly in cloud saves. I have had personal problems with that. That said, if they can't control your digital life, they can at least make a whole lot of money selling their games on other hardware, and so far that gambit, that's working. That's keeping the division afloat at a time where it seems like consoles in general may be declining. Anecdotally, I have noticed more and more people shifting to PCs as their primary gaming machines. 80% of developers are making their games for PC now. PC sales are way up, console sales are down, and maybe Xbox is just following that trend line. It's hard to say for certain what Xbox is going to look like.
I even been thinking of switching to PC my damn self. Because, keeping up with these Xbox consoles is a motherfucker. I just thought about switching to PC myself.
Like in 5 to 6 years. But right now, I understand why Xbox fans feel concerned. They have cause to be concerned, to be frank. It just used to be a lot more fun to be an Xbox fan when you had exclusive games and unique hardware with its own features. You had your part of the gaming landscape. It was your tribe. There was a certain amount of pride being part of it. You stuck with them through the good times and the bad. Like, it felt like you were part of something. PlayStation fans still kind of have that. They have their unique exclusives from time to time, and Nintendo fans, they still absolutely have that. Nintendo is the one constant in the gaming industry. They have unique hardware. The games are just exclusive to their own stuff. They're their own thing. Microsoft, I guess, used to be like that. Like, everybody pretty much had that model before, but it's becoming more and more clear they're in the money-making business, and you can't out Nintendo. It's just, you can't. And they're certainly not here to build a community, and in some ways that's everything need to be exclusive. We live in this interconnected world where, like I said, the chip architecture's very, very not.
There's no way you can out Nintendo. Nintendo is a king of it all. Nintendo's like the OG of it all. You just can't. It's impossible.
different. There is far less of a reason, physically speaking, to have a bunch of different consoles. And as that becomes more apparent to the consumer, you're kind of just hurting yourself more and more if you make games that only show up on one console. If you're a company that demands growth, kind of makes sense to sell a game in as many places as possible. Yes, Nintendo Switch has managed to sell more first-party games with more than 1 million copies than any other console ever. But again, Nintendo's its own thing. Xbox never was and never will be Nintendo. Nobody will ever be Nintendo. Sega was the only people who came close. They had it narrowed down to a big 2. There were only 2 consoles that mattered. And for a very brief time with that kind of a market, they were actually winning. And yes, later, PlayStation 2 did outsell the GameCube, but that was a different market. You had 3 things on the market, and that's if you're not counting handhelds. And as much as there's some great GameCube games, it was never, ever going to be the era that anybody called Nintendo at the absolute top of their game. It's certainly up there, but not at the top. Seriously, what the hell is going on with this controller? Now here's the thing. Xbox can't be Nintendo, but they can be Activision, which isn't exactly a heartening thought for Xbox fans, but for people who just like games, like think games are a good thing to have, it's not necessarily terrible. It's undeniable that Xbox is changing. It's not necessarily going to be a full third party. They are at least planning another console, and I expect that probably will happen because Microsoft is a slow-moving behemoth of a company. Change comes slow with these guys, so I don't see them completely dumping the hardware business quite yet. It could happen. It certainly seems like it may be the end goal of the current business strategy, but it's just way too soon for them to do anything too drastic yet. So what the hell is going on with Xbox? Hardware sales are at rock bottom, but revenue is up. Phil Spencer is still out there giving the PR spinned up interviews that maybe tell a little more than he meant to, like when he said that they're not trying to lure people over to Xbox. That's interesting.
Then what are y'all doing then? Because, like, don't get me wrong, I've been an Xbox fan the whole time. Then if y'all taking the focus off of Xbox, I might as well go on over there to PlayStation then, because shit, it's not like I'm really gonna be losing.
Xbox console still in third place, but they also sold 3 of the best-selling games of 2024, with Black Ops 6 at number 1, Modern Warfare 3 at number 7, and Minecraft at number 16. Xbox is kind of Schrodinger's cat right now. Every time you blink, it's either doing really well or it's falling apart, because in reality, both things are kind of true. Hardware sales truly are in the toilet, but console sales are also just down across the board. And Xbox sales, they're particularly bad, especially in Europe, but for them, does it matter if revenue is good? I don't know. Yeah, it's because of the Activision acquisition mostly, or arguably partly because of the Mojang acquisition way back. Fine. Yes, all these changes are slowly eroding the identity of the Xbox, but if they're successful, it's not gonna matter. It won't matter if nobody likes or cares about Xbox if it becomes the Windows of gaming, because we will use it anyway. That's something the tech industry as a whole has just come to learn the past few years. You can have a product that everyone despises, but if they feel like they have to use it, it just doesn't matter. You've got a captive audience. It's not exactly what Xbox is trying to do, because they're more interested in getting their games on as many platforms as possible, but the more they undermine the console experience, underserve their audience, and continue to offer more to people without Xbox consoles compared to people who do, there's not going to be an Xbox audience anymore. I do appreciate them getting their games out to as many potential players as possible, but there's got to be something to offer Xbox console owners, some kind of incentive to owning an Xbox system over something else, because right now there's practically nothing. The whole, it's got a better video player than the PS5, and it's where your game library is just at. It's not good enough anymore. Or maybe it is, but maybe their mostly digital push is the right move. I don't know.
Nah, see, that's not even a good one, because PS5 is on the same shit now. So basically, how you gonna squeeze that in there? The only thing y'all gonna do is just like what? Keep on adding programs on top of programs, and then what?
It's hard to say right now. It's kind of why it's so tough to talk about Xbox right now. Unless you're a real deep insider with more knowledge than, anyone outside is going to have, it's hard to say whether they're doing the right move or not. In fact, I'll bet a lot of those people have no idea, because you can't know the future. And it's particularly hard to know the future when you don't know what their plans are. Do they know what their plans are? Nadella might just completely change his mind and axe the entire division at any moment. It's crazy out there right now. Realistically, I don't expect that to happen. That would be a tremendous waste of acquisitions of companies, billions of dollars over the last 5-6 years. But I do expect more Xbox games on PlayStation and Switch, which is great if you own those consoles. Not that great if all you have is a Series X. That's kind of the running theme of this video, huh? Everything Xbox is doing might be great for the gaming industry at large, but kind of feels like Xbox fans are getting left in the dust. What do you think, though? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications and
Well, yeah, though. Go ahead and check out Xbox gamer survivals and everything. Check out the whole thing. But look, I'm just sitting here letting y'all know, man. I'm an Xbox fan. And I ain't gonna stop being Xbox. To me, Xbox just need to step their game up. That's my whole thing with Xbox. If they step their game up, well, maybe, I'm just saying, just maybe so, they might have something. It's just my opinion. I'm up out of here.